Hello, everyone. I recently came across a code that made me feel some type of way, so to say, and I wanted to share it with you guys and talk about it a little bit more. The code goes like this: if you want to make the wrong decision, ask everyone. Right? It's a code I saw on Instagram. Right? It's nothing special, but you've probably seen it as well. But um, is the first time I saw it was a couple of days ago, and it made me kind of think about this right for a second. I think this code brings a very interesting and very unique perspective about our society, right? It's if taken literally, it doesn't really make sense because majority of the time, right, the big majority, the big group will be right most of the time. That's just how it goes. However, nobody really knows what's best in your eyes and what's best for you. This comes back to things that I've mentioned in previous videos as well, right? For example, even though your close friends, your parents, of course, want what's best for you and want you to succeed, their advice doesn't always represent you, doesn't always um, mean doesn't always represent the best thing that would be for you, right? Um, because not everybody understands the path you're on, right? The path you chose. Not everybody understands your goals and your ambitions. You're you, and you're the only person who truly gets everything that's going on inside your mind, right? And at times, you don't even get what's going on inside of your head, right? So how can somebody else, even if they're super close to you? It just doesn't make sense, right? So it's, of course, once again, if taken literally, asking asking other people, right? A number of people what would be the right decision is arguably actually better. However, it would be better for whom, right? It would be better for somebody else, maybe. Maybe in general, it would be better, right? But say if you have a decision to make, right, and there are two paths, right? One is extremely risky and one is somewhat risky, but not that risky, right? But which one would you choose, right? And then if you ask the people close to you, right, most of them will tell you go the safe path, right? Why risk it? Why do whatever, right? But if you truly believe in yourself, right? If you truly believe that you can achieve this, and nobody else has to do so, right? Nobody else has to believe in you, and even if they do, right, they might still say like pick the safe option, right? Because it just makes more sense. Um, why listen to them? Are they right? Objectively, yes. Technically, yes, right? But are they right at the end of the day? Because you know you could have done that. You know you could have picked the riskier path. You know you can pick the riskier path. And yeah, you might risk a lot more, right? But the reward is also going to be better. The experience is also going to be better. Everything is going to be better, right? So are they right? No. No. Objectively, yes, but actually no, right? They're not right. And you shouldn't listen to them, right? And I'm not talking about every single thing that somebody else does, right? Or tells you to do. I'm just talking about things that are about decisions that are about your own ambitions, your own personality, your own goals, right? It's if you're trying to achieve something, you're trying to get somewhere, you won't get anywhere by asking everybody else's opinion. Why? Because look at just look at the world, right? How many people have actually achieved something, right? There are what was it, like a couple hundred billionaires in the world, right? So how can you ask everybody, right? Even those billionaires, if you ask them, they're significantly different from one another, right? The ways that they achieve that wealth is extremely different from one another. So how can you how could you possibly want to take advice from a majority group when people who are successful are such a small minority in this world, right? Why would you do that? It doesn't make any intuitive sense. Chances are you don't have any friends, right? If uh, I'm talking to you right now and you're listening to me, right? Chances are that you don't have any millionaire friends, any super rich friends who aren't just parents' money, right? They're actually self-made millionaires and stuff, or even more pretty much impossible, right? That you have any friends who are billionaires, right? So um, I'm saying this right to kind of help you understand, right? That it there's no reason to listen to anybody because chances are that they're um just as lost or even more lost than you, and they they are just as right. If you are listening to this and you have that dream, you have an ambition, you have that drive, right? To you have those goals set for yourself, and you have those ideas that you want to accomplish something, right? Listen to me. You are a real small minority. You're part of a real small minority here. It's incredibly strange and incredibly scary, right? To look online and see that, oh, everybody's doing this, everybody's doing that, right? This guy's a millionaire. This guy is doing that. This guy has a car, has a house, whatever, right? At 17, he's already a millionaire, whoever, right? I don't know. Right? There are people like these online, right? Most of them are lying. Well, maybe not even most of them, right? But some of them are lying. But if you count these people and compare them to the number of people who have done nothing in their lives, right? It's 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 very, very small. Say even if all the people who you see online are actually telling the truth and they have actually done something with their lives, right? And they actually became rich by themselves and all that stuff. Realize this, that even so, they would still be a very small minority. Even so. So I'm not saying, compare yourself to a person who's worse off than you, right? And just live in comfort because you're doing better than most. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying realize that you have a passion that is not inside of everybody, and it's actually inside of a very small minority of people. And stop comparing yourself to other people online, because the online space is just a place, to flex and to do all kind of stuff, right? That doesn't really make sense. Just stop taking advice from people who are not further than you, right? And you don't have any proof that they're further than you, right? um I guess that's not totally true to some extent, right? Because you can take advice from people online even though you don't have any proof that they actually have any success, right? But just filter it very, very carefully, right? If you want to take advice from somebody, either make sure that they actually know what they're talking about, right? And there are multiple ways to confirm that, right? If you're talking face to face, and if you're taking advice from somebody online, just make sure to filter it very, very carefully and know that this advice is actually going to help you for your own personal needs and gains, right? And yeah, if you can do that, you'll be able to take advice successfully, right, from somebody and stuff. But just realize that if you want to make the worst decision possible, if you want to, for some reason, if you want to make the worst decision possible, just ask as many people as you possibly can, and you'll have the worst decision possible for you if you have that ambition and that drive. Because people don't get it. Like most people, that's why I'm saying you have to realize that you're part of a minority, right? And most of the people who you might end up asking, they don't have this ambition, they don't have this drive, they don't understand what you're on about, right? They don't understand what is going on inside of their head, right? So taking advice from them would be the worst possible case scenario for you, simply because it would literally drag you down, because they would drag you down to their level. And I'm not saying that's a bad level, right? Once again, like, I'm talking about even family and even friends, right? I'm not saying that's a bad level in general, but for you it is. Why? Because you have this drive, you have this ambition. You will never ever be able to fully sit with yourself and realize that you decided to live in comfort, right? And decided to listen to their advice and feel comfortable yourself. You will never ever feel comfortable. You will never ever be able to rest until you've at least tried to achieve those goals and those ambitions that you have set for yourself. So, yeah, if there's one thing that I would like to leave you with, right, from this video, and I would like you to take away from this video, is that don't listen to other people's opinions. Don't even take them into consideration if they're not better than you and they're not doing better than you, right? And if it's an opinion that's might sound good, or if it's an opinion that's coming from somebody who is close to you, right? Take it into account, understand it, break it down, understand what is going on, why they gave you this advice, on do they stand to gain anything from it, right? Or and filter it very carefully, and only if at the end of the day you decide that yes, indeed, this advice might actually serve me well and serve my ambitions and my goals well, then that's the only time you can fully accept it and fully embrace it. So yeah, that's kind of all I had to say for today, and yeah, see you next time.